Hi there. We've been talking about branding, and we were talking about last week the core of the brand. So we've established that we need to make sure that people know exactly what we are and what we stand for as soon as they, notice us, so that they actually register it and store it in their brain, because otherwise they won't know which drawer in the filing cabinet to put us in. But that's not quite enough, because even if they know what we do, if they don't like us, if they're not interested in us, and if they don't trust us, they're not going to buy from us. So we need to build a richer picture to get a more, broad and deep connection with people and get them to buy from us. We need various association and things that make people feel something for us. And we need to give our brand a personality, something that makes people want to buy. For example, if we think of Disney, we know that, at the core of the Disney brand is the fun family entertainment. So that's their compass, if you will. But if we talk about Disney, there are a lot of other things that come to mind that make us like them. I can think of family, magic, princesses, Disney World, castles, Mickey Mouse, American cartoons, loads of things. You've got brands like Lady Gaga. She's definitely a brand. We know that she's a singer and an entertainer. That's, we know that's what she does. But whether we love her or hate her depends on what we feel about all the other things around her, like the fact that, there's the shock factor, her music, pop music. She's outrageous. She's glamorous. We think of things like mega costumes and makeup. But a lot of us also think of things like equality. That's one of the things that I associate with her, and I think a lot of people do. And these are the associations that help build the relationship to actually make people, be interested in us, like us, trust us enough to buy from us. These associations and things can come from all over. And when we go through the branding process, there are certain sort of like exercises and things that you do to check, is this something that we need to be looking into? Is this something we want as an element in our brand? A few of these things are things like, the associations and elements in the brand can come from the qualities of your product or service. Is it very simple to use? Is it cheap and cheerful? Or is it, very fancy premium? Is it technologically advanced? They can come from the place. The place where the brand comes from is sometimes a very strong element in the brand. You get Coca-Cola and Harley-Davidson, for example, which are very, very American. You get Audi, which is German, and they even have a German slogan because they know that the German association is associated with quality and precision. You can have things like, Icelandic brands like Blue Lagoon and 66 Degrees North, which both, have Iceland definitely in their element. There's imagery, like earlier when I said about Disney, pink and light blue came to mind. There's the design and the look of things. If we think about Apple, a lot of us think about sleek, sort of white. The colors are bright. If you think about the iPods, you'll get really, brilliant pinks and turquoise and what have you. Then there's the logo, which is definitely part of the imagery, but that's also a symbol. And a brand can have symbols, various types of symbols, not just a logo. A symbol can be a house, a person, like with Virgin you have Richard Branson. With Apple there was Steve Jobs. Microsoft there's Bill Gates, all very, very strong elements of their brands. It can be, things like the Coca-Cola bottle, very strong symbol for Coca-Cola. Trump Tower, very strong symbol for Donald Trump and Trump Corporation or Enterprise or whatever it's actually called. How and when is the brand used? Is there something in that that's an element? Like, do we associate it with Christmas or do we associate it with summer? And the brand's users. When we think about the brand, who do we think of as using it? Because sometimes we look at something and we say, oh yeah, that's fine, but it's not really for me. It's for some, it's for those kind of people, that kind of people, but it's not for me. So it's very important that we realize what we want people to perceive in our brand with regards to who actually uses the brand. There's the brand personality. If your brand was a person, what kind of person would it be? What age, what gender, what kind of education, what would they do in their spare time? I mean, there's a huge difference between a brand that would be, 30-year-old person that goes mountain climbing and hiking and extreme skiing, or if it's a 40-year-old woman who curls up on the sofa with a cup of hot cocoa and a blanket and a nice book. Both are very distinct personalities. So if you think of your brand as a person, that will also give you an indication of how you want to be seen. And the type of relationship that the brand has with its customers. Is it like a trusted friend, or is it like a very sort of respectable advisor? What kind of relationship exists between the brand and its customers? There are loads of things like this you can look at through the branding process to pull forward, what you want as an element in your brand. There are fun exercises, like one of the most widely used, I suppose, is, if my brand was, what would it be? As in, if your company brand was a car, what car would it be? What movie would it be? Or what drink? I mean, you can really sort of play around with these and find it. If like for example with a drink, you can imagine how different a company is if they say, oh yeah, well we would be a fruit juice, freshly squeezed, very wholesome and healthy. Or if they said, oh yeah, we'd be like ice cold beer, or we'd be like a really fancy colourful cocktail with umbrellas and straws and fruit and what have you. That gives you instantly gives you a feeling for the brand. So these sort of things often unveil to us how we actually would like our brand to be seen and the emotions we would like it to bring up. So once we've gone through all these exercises and we actually know, what the associations we are that we want to build up, mental and emotional, then we need to find a way to actually communicate them and put them across. And we're going to talk about that next week. I'll see you then.